Michelle Torrio, and this is the Be Mindful podcast. Hi there, and welcome back to the Be Mindful podcast. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about how you can stay grounded as you are working towards your dreams and becoming the version of you that you've been praying for and working toward. I wanted to talk about this today because you cannot become your next level self by forcing or trying to continuously fix yourself or hustling or obsessing over it. The process of becoming this version that you've been working towards truly does require practices that keep you grounded while you're working towards it. There was a time in my life that I thought that I had to be doing more in order to become that version. Pretty much more productivity, more planning, more scheduling in, but the most important thing that I kind of forgot about was myself and being present and enjoying life. I also thought that if I found the right strategy or had the perfect morning routine or had the right habits in place, then I would become her. I would be perfectly on my way. But the truth is that growth and transformation doesn't come from force. It actually steers you the opposite way the more you try to force it. So today I wanted to share a few things that keep me grounded because although I have reached a new level of my life and I've achieved goals that I have been working so hard towards, I have new goals and I'm working towards that right now. And to be that version of myself, there are things that I still need to release and let go of and heal and let go of a version of me that cannot get there. So I want to share some tips today that help me stay grounded, especially when I'm overwhelmed or my mind is racing, or even in moments when I find myself actually trying to force the process. And if you're new to the podcast, welcome. If any of this interests you, I suggest you subscribe, like, and follow for more because we love talking about this stuff. We love talking about mindset, rewiring our mind. We love talking about transformation. So if you are into any of that, I'm sure you will enjoy the podcast. Now, before we get into the episode, I want to remind you that my online coaching program is officially open and the doors are closing next week on Tuesday, June 30th. If you want to rewire your mind into loving yourself, feeling confident in who you are, and feeling confident in your divine path, then this is for you. You cannot fuck it up. And sometimes it feels like you're going in circles and your mind is overthinking and you're worrying, and that can make the progress to your goal harder. Let's not make it harder on ourselves. Let's trust ourselves during the process and let's try to enjoy those moments that we do accomplish the small wins. So if you are someone that wants to work towards their goals and feel good and feel confident in where they're going, this program is for you. If you'd like to sign up already, the link is in my description. If you have any questions, you want to book a call with me to see if you're a good fit, comment below or send me an email. All right, so now let's start the episode. Grounded. So being grounded doesn't mean that you're perfect. Those who are grounded, they still have doubts, they still have their worries, but they are very intentional with how they approach their life. Those who are grounded, they have practices daily and weekly that help them return to themselves, like who they are in their core. And who you are in your core is someone who has a regulated nervous system and chooses to respond towards everything with love. So my daily routine that really helps me stay grounded, especially if I do this every day and I'm trying to be better at it, and that is praying and connecting with God. That grounds me every single time. And if you don't believe in God, that's okay, but I advise you to open your mind and believe in something that's bigger than you. We are literally floating on a rock and the universe is so big. So it's like, why can't we believe that there's something out there bigger than us that is light energy and wants the best for us, right? One thing that I've noticed is that when I start worrying or freaking out or feeling anxious, I start to look for answers. Examples of that is me researching, and that's maybe going on YouTube or wanting to listen to a podcast and trying to find answers that are outside of me. But what I've learned is that before I seek out to the world for any answers, I can always go to God first. Because the peace that I'm looking for isn't through a strategy, it's through stillness. Basically, I'm just trying to find other ways to get out of this mindset. But instead of doing that, I've really been trying to shift into leaning on God. And what this does for me is it creates more stillness. Because when I'm trying to look for peace, it doesn't always need a strategy. It just needs me to be there for a moment and find myself in prayer and remember that it doesn't have to be all on my shoulders. I can choose to let go of this worry and this anxiousness. And that doesn't mean that you ignore your emotions and that you ignore how you're feeling. Definitely go through that because you're human and you have to go through those emotions and not ignore it, because if you do, that'll just make it worse. So go through the emotions that you need to, but remember that something or someone out there is there for you. And even if it's just like talking out loud to God, the universe, whatever you believe in, do that and choose to actively say that you are letting go of this negative energy and whatever is holding me down and choosing to think and feel differently. And in the moment, that's not always easy. And there's going to be days that are harder than others where you may not be able to shift in and out that quickly. But as long as you try and you take the steps and you practice doing that, you end up teaching your brain that this is a habit for you. This is normal. This is what you do anytime you feel anxious. Another thing that I like to do is really remind myself that in this moment, this is temporary. So anytime you are overthinking and worrying, remember that any moment, even if it's like a happy moment, it's temporary. You'll get through it. And every obstacle that you've gone through before, you've gotten yourself through that. So what makes you think that you're not going to get through this one, right? So when you're having a moment, try to remind yourself that, okay, this is temporary. I am okay right now. I am safe right now, and I can choose to respond the way that I want to. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to love myself, be patient with myself, and know that even though this moment is tough for me, I'm going to get through it. I say this a lot and I will continue to say this a lot, but you really are your biggest cheerleader, right? You have to step in to that version of you that is pretty much telling yourself, like, you got this, like, you're gonna get through this, and no matter what, you're gonna show up for yourself anyway. You tell yourself too that, you're doing the best that you can. And what it does, it pulls you into the current reality and reminds you, like, I'm capable of getting through this. Like, this is fine. It's okay. It's a shitty situation, but I am going to be okay, and we're going to continue moving forward. Another thing that keeps me grounded is keeping the promises to myself. So if you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, you end up impacting your self-worth, like the way that you view yourself. But when you show up and you do the thing you said you were going to do, you build confidence, like guaranteed. And of course, it's not immediate, but by continuously keeping those promises, you start to trust yourself and you start to trust in your abilities. And also just a reminder that it's not going to be perfect, right? So don't expect perfection from yourself. The goal here is to become a version of you that trusts herself. So for example, if you're trying to create a new habit or let go of a habit that's maybe preventing you from really showing up fully, then change one thing. Like, you do not need to change your entire life or your entire day, right? Take it little by little, take it step by step. So, for example, if you want to start going to the gym and you're finding yourself like not being consistent, well, where are you being consistent? Are you going to the gym at least once a week, or are you not going to the gym at all? So, if you're not going to the gym at all, then create something that makes it simpler for yourself where you try to just go once a week and gradually build. You don't have to go full force in right away, because when you do that, you may end up self-sabotaging yourself and finding yourself not even going at all. And the way that our brain works, anytime we do something completely new, it's going to be so uncomfortable and it's going to want to pull back into your old version of you that didn't show up. So don't go ham, don't go to the gym like 4 or 5 times a week immediately. Take it slow, especially because you want to become someone who is sustaining it, right? You're able to maintain this consistency, then start small, and that's okay. Another tip that I want to share with you that is very essential and is actually something that I struggled with for a really long time, and that is resting. If you think constantly working more and doing overtime and just like burning out is going to help you, I promise you it's not. You need to make time to rest. Rest is productive. That is something that I never understood until I got older. And when you make time and literally block it in your calendar to rest, however that may look like, it's going to help you perform even better because you're allowing yourself to take a break. Breaks are needed and moments of stillness are needed. And that's when you also sometimes get all the creativity that come your way. And it allows you to kind of just like pull yourself out of work mode and really recover. Your body and your brain needs the recovery. So make it a goal to rest daily and rest every week, and don't remove that from your schedule. Like, make it a priority. Now, I know there's going to be seasons where you're going to be working a little bit more than usual. You have to take more action. And there's also going to be seasons of mainly recovery, more rest. But it is your responsibility to know the difference of when to show up and when it's time to really take a chill pill and relax and rest and recover. And my last tip for staying grounded is focusing on today. I had a really bad habit of focusing on so many things that were coming up, and a lot of it was in my head. So it created a lot of chaos and anxiousness and feeling so overwhelmed. Like, it constantly felt like my mind was racing because I couldn't stop thinking of all the things that were coming up and all the things that I needed to do. So when it comes to focusing on what you need to get done today, choose 1 to 3 things that like you for sure want to get done. Obviously, the number one being your top priority for that day. And this is where your calendar comes in. Highly recommend using your calendar and making that your best friend, because my calendar is my best friend. It has everything that I need in there and everything's color coded. Do what you need to do, but use your calendar and use that to time block. This is actually part of my NLT program. I talk about time blocking and how important it is because it really allows you to be more intentional with your time. And it helps you recognize the time throughout your day where you're open or you have time to focus on a task, and you get to choose like how you want your day to go. So every day, write down at least one thing that you can focus on. And if you already put it on your calendar, you already know what to do, and you could just focus specifically on that. And really ask yourself too, like, how are you feeling? Can I do this today? Does it make the most sense? Like, do I have the capacity for it? Did I plan this well enough? Like, if you need to pivot, then pivot. Don't be so hard on yourself if you can't get done everything on your to-do list. So that's why I do recommend picking at least 1 to 3, but having your main one be the priority. So stop focusing on everything that's coming up within the month, 3 months from now, 6 months, a year. Like, yes, it's important to plan, but like, give yourself some grace. God's giving you grace. Like, so I think you need to do it for yourself too. So those are my 5 tips when it comes to staying grounded with yourself as you are working towards becoming the version of you that you want to be. And this is one of the biggest reasons I also created NLT, because I really was someone that struggled, like really struggled being in the process towards achieving what I wanted. To look back at how hard I was on myself to get to where I am today, I realized like that's not necessary. I can continue to trust in myself and have confidence as I work towards these things. And to be able to have that confidence and really show yourself that love it takes practice sometimes, especially if you have been so hard on yourself for so long. You've wired your brain that way, but it doesn't mean that you can't unlearn those habits that have prevented you from really being fully who you're meant to be. And when your nervous system is just overwhelmed, you can't see clearly. Like, you can't hear God clearly, your intuition, you can't really tap into it. Like, when you are so stressed, you literally cannot perform the best of your ability. And so, why not go after our dreams while not stressing? Like, that is a choice. We get to do that. So remember, the goal here is not to reach the next level. It's specifically to become the next level of you that can sustain it. So if you want to join my coaching program, this is your sign. So if you're in a season of growth right now, just like I am working towards newer, bigger goals, and sometimes it can feel really overwhelming. But I want to remind you, you don't have to rush, you don't have to force, and you don't have to be a completely different person tomorrow. It takes time to build, and it takes time to become the version of you that you've been working towards. So take a breath and take a moment, spend time with God, and focus on the assignment today, the tasks that you need to get done today, and keep the promises to yourself, because you can trust that you are becoming that version of you one step and one decision at a time. What a lot of people don't know or see is that the strongest transformation isn't usually the loudest. It's usually quiet, but consistent and intentional. And that is the end of today's episode. If you feel called at all to work with me, my coaching program is still open till Tuesday, June 30th. So make sure you sign up, or you can book a call with me to schedule if you want to see if you're a good fit. So comment below or email me and we can get that scheduled in. And of course, don't forget to be mindful, because who you are from within will attract from the out. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.